Her son hadn't spoken since the accident that took his father's life. But one afternoon at the park, a stranger taught him to fly through the clouds, and what happened next left every parent watching in tears. Before we begin, tell me, where are you watching from today? Type it in the comments, and let's see how far this story travels. Now, listen closely, because this story might just remind you that even the quietest voices can still be heard. The late afternoon sun painted warm light across Maplewood Park. On a weathered green bench, Rachel Porter sat quietly, watching her 7-year-old son, Ethan, sway back and forth on the swing. It had been 18 months since the car accident, 18 months since Ethan's father never came home, and 18 months since Ethan last spoke a word. Rachel had done everything, doctors, therapists, even specialists from out of town. But the truth was simple. Ethan's silence wasn't physical, it was emotional, a wall he built to survive. That day, as she sat watching, a man appeared near the swings, tall, calm, with a quiet smile. Beside him skipped a little girl in a sunflower yellow dress. "Hey there," he said kindly. "I'm Ben, and this is my daughter, Sophie. Mind if we swing here too?" Ethan looked up, hesitated, then gave a small nod. Sophie hopped onto the swing beside him, legs pumping. "I love swings," she said cheerfully. "They make me feel like I'm flying. Don't you love that?" Ethan stayed silent, but a tiny smile flickered across his face. Rachel noticed. It was the first real smile she'd seen in weeks. Ben gave Sophie a push, then looked at Ethan. "Nice shirt," he said. "Spider-Man, right? He's my favorite hero too." He spoke with a kind of patience that made silence feel safe. He didn't push. He didn't demand. He just saw the boy, exactly as he was. Then Sophie grinned. "Daddy, can you teach him the flying trick? The one with the sound?" Ben chuckled. "Ah, the secret flying trick. That's a special one." He knelt beside them. "You see, when you swing high enough, you're not just moving through air, you're flying through clouds. And clouds always make a sound. Whoosh." Sophie laughed. Ben nodded. "Exactly. Everyone's sound is different. Some whoosh, some hum, some whisper. There's no wrong way." Rachel watched, her heart racing. Ethan's eyes were bright, curious. He wanted to try, but something still held him back. Ben smiled gently. "Sometimes," he said, "when people forget how to make sound, they just need a little magic." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a smooth marble that shimmered in the sunlight. "This," he whispered, "is a magic stone. When you hold it and make any sound, even the tiniest one, it gives your voice strength. Want to try?" Ethan hesitated, then reached out his small hand. Pause. Soft wind sound. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath. For a long moment, the world was silent. Then, so soft it almost wasn't there, came a sound. Whoosh. Rachel froze. Her heart stopped. Tears filled her eyes. It was faint, but it was his voice. Ben smiled. "There it is. Perfect cloud flying." Ethan tried again, louder this time. Whoosh. Then laughter spilled out, pure and bright. Sophie squealed. "He's flying too." Rachel covered her mouth, trembling. After months of silence, her son was laughing again. Ethan turned toward her. "Mom, I'm flying." Rachel broke, running to him, arms open. "I hear you, baby," she sobbed. "You sound perfect." Ben stepped back quietly, letting the moment belong to them. When Rachel looked up, voice shaking, she said, "I don't know what you did, but you gave me back my son." Ben smiled gently. He always had his voice. He just needed someone to remind him it was still there. Over the next few months, they met often at the park. Ethan and Sophie became best friends, and little by little, so did their parents. Rachel learned that Ben was a music therapist, someone who used rhythm and sound to help children heal. He laughed one day and said, "The stone isn't really magic, but believing it is sometimes gives us the courage to speak." 6 months later, Ethan stood on stage at his school recital. His voice filled the room, clear, confident, alive. Rachel turned to Ben as applause erupted. I used to think losing his voice was the worst thing that could happen. Ben squeezed her hand. And now, she smiled, watching Ethan beam. Now I know. Sometimes we lose our voice, just to discover what we're truly meant to say. That night, as they walked out under the glowing sunset, Rachel glanced at the small marble she still kept in her purse. A reminder that sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can give someone back their wings. If this story touched your heart today, give it a like and tell me in the comments, who would you be if someone helped you find your voice again? Subscribe for more stories that prove even a whisper can change a life.